You've been struggling to build discipline for years, blaming yourself every time you fail and thinking you need more willpower. Buddha spent 6 years torturing himself with extreme discipline before discovering he was completely wrong about how real change happens. There's a gentle yet powerful way to transform your habits that Zen masters have used for centuries, and it works because it honors how your mind actually operates, not how you think it should operate. Today you'll learn that your lack of discipline is actually your inner wisdom trying to protect you from methods that hurt your soul. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment from which part of the world you're watching, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Have you ever wondered why changing your habits can feel so difficult, even when you try your hardest every single day? Many people around the world think that the answer is to be very strict with themselves. They believe that if they want to have strong discipline, they must work hard all the time, never make mistakes, and never be lazy, even for a moment. They think that being hard on themselves, setting strict rules, and following them perfectly is the only way to get better. This belief is very common. You can see it everywhere. Maybe you have heard someone say things like, "If you want it, you must work for it. No excuses." Or, "Stop being lazy and just do it." Sometimes people even say these things to themselves in their own heads every morning when they wake up or at night when they remember something they did not do during the day. If you look around in schools, at work, or even in families, people often talk this way. They say that true discipline is about being strong, working very hard, and never allowing yourself to rest if you want to reach your goals. Some people think you must even punish yourself if you do not do everything right. For example, if someone misses a day at the gym, they might call themselves weak. Or if they eat something unhealthy, they might feel guilty all day. This kind of thinking makes people believe that they are not good enough unless they are perfect all the time. When people try to follow this idea, they set many strict rules for themselves. For example, they might decide, "I must get up at 6 o'clock every morning no matter what," or "I must exercise for 1 hour every single day without missing a day." Some people make strict food plans, or they tell themselves they must work or study for many hours every day. These rules often sound very strong and maybe even a little scary. In the beginning, these rules might work for a short time. On the first day, people feel proud because they did everything right. On the second day, maybe they start to feel tired, but they keep going because they want to be strong. But after a few days or a few weeks, they often start to feel different. The rules become harder to follow. They might wake up one day feeling sore, sad, or just very tired. Maybe life has become very busy. Maybe they just need a break. But the rules they made for themselves do not allow for mistakes or rest. When they finally miss a day or do something outside of their rules, many people start to feel bad. They might tell themselves, "I am weak. I have no discipline. I will never change." If they break their own rules more than once, they start to feel disappointed or even angry at themselves. They might feel ashamed. This is very uncomfortable and can make them feel sad for a long time. For some people, this feeling of disappointment becomes so painful that they stop trying to change at all. Getting up early, exercising, studying, or eating healthy food no longer feels like something good. It starts to feel like a punishment or something impossible. A small mistake feels like a big failure. The thought of starting again feels scary and heavy. Other people keep going, but only by pushing themselves very hard. Every day feels like going to battle. They use all their energy to keep up with their rules. They do not let themselves rest, and they do not listen to their own feelings. If something goes wrong, they punish themselves with angry, mean thoughts. But this does not help for long. In a few weeks or months, they feel more tired and stressed than ever before. These strict beliefs do not only hurt the mind, but also the body. Stress builds up. People start to sleep less or get headaches. Sometimes they feel sick or catch more colds. The body and mind work together. When the mind feels punished and stressed, the body suffers too. This idea of discipline, of being strong and perfect all the time, can turn small mistakes into big sad stories inside people's hearts. Maybe a person misses one run in 20 days, or eats cake at a party, or skips a study session. Instead of seeing this as a normal part of life, they see it as a sign that they will never change. This makes their journey harder, not easier. If you could listen to the thoughts of many people trying to change their habits, you might hear a lot of harsh words they say to themselves. They might say, "Why are you so lazy? Why can't you just do it? What is wrong with you?" These are not kind words. These words make people feel small, and often, these are the words people have heard from others in the past, maybe when they were children or teenagers. Where do these beliefs come from? They come from many places. Some people learn them from family. Maybe their parents were very strict, or maybe teachers demanded perfection. Some people learn these beliefs from sports coaches or from public stories about successful people. On social media and in books or movies, the stories often say that to win or to change yourself, you must stop being soft, stop making excuses, and just work harder than everyone else. These beliefs become like invisible rules that everyone tries to follow, even if no one says them out loud. They get passed from parents to children, from friends to friends, and from teachers to students. Even when people know deep inside that being perfect is impossible, they still feel they must try. They are afraid that if they are not hard on themselves, they will never change. But is this really true? Does being strict and criticizing yourself always help you get better? Does it make you want to change? Many people find that it does not. Instead, discipline starts to feel like something cold and painful. Changing your habits and building a new life feels scary. Often, these strict ideas about discipline do not make people stronger. Instead, the pressure to be perfect every single day makes them tired. Over time, even small habits like drinking more water, eating more fruits, walking each day, or reading one chapter of a book start to feel hard. There is no space for mistakes, or for being tired, or for having a bad day. The fear of failure becomes so big that people feel stuck. Some people stop trying new things because they do not want to feel the sadness of failing. Some people only try changing habits in secret so that no one else sees their mistakes. Others make plans again and again, hoping they will finally be strong enough this time. These beliefs also make it hard to feel proud of small successes. If you believe you must be perfect, even a good day or a step in the right direction does not feel like enough. If your plan was to run for 30 minutes, but you only ran for 20 minutes, you might feel like a failure. If you wanted to eat healthy all week, but you ate something unhealthy on one day, you might feel like nothing has changed. Every small mistake becomes a new reason to be harsh with yourself. You might ignore all the good things you did. You remember only the moments when you were tired, or afraid, or just did not want to try. This makes it harder to move forward. Mistakes become scary instead of normal. The mind starts to believe that change is always painful, always a battle, and only for those who are strong enough. For many people, the cycle looks like this. Make a strict plan, try very hard, feel tired, make a small mistake, feel bad, and then either quit or start again even more strictly. The pattern repeats over and over. Some people spend years in this cycle, never feeling proud and always wishing they could do better. It is not only adults who feel this way. Teenagers, students, and even young children can learn these beliefs. They might start believing that if they do not get the best grades, play the best in a sport, or do their chores perfectly each day, that means they are not good, not strong enough, or not worthy of success. When people believe these things, it shapes how they see themselves. They start to think, "I am lazy," or "I cannot change," or "everyone else is better than me." Their confidence goes down. They feel alone with their struggles because it seems like everyone else is doing better. But in truth, almost everyone feels like this sometimes. Most people have days when they struggle. Most people have made strict plans and broken them. Most people have felt shame or anger when they did not reach their own high standards. This is very normal. The real problem is not you or your actions. The real problem is with the belief that you must be strict and perfect to have discipline. This belief makes changing your habits feel impossible. It turns each simple mistake into proof that you are lazy or weak, even though that is not true. Changing anything in your life is hard. It takes time. It takes many small steps and a lot of patience. Sometimes you will move forward quickly. Sometimes you will have a bad day. Sometimes you will want to give up. That is normal. But when you believe that discipline only comes from being strict and harsh, it is easy to give up hope. Over time, many people learn to hide their struggles. They pretend everything is fine. They post happy pictures on social media. When someone asks, "How is your new diet or your new exercise plan?" they smile and say, "Great," even if they feel sad or tired inside. This is because they are afraid of looking weak. The truth is, almost everyone finds it hard to make changes and keep new habits. Strict beliefs about discipline make you forget one important thing. You are a human being. All humans have busy days, strong feelings, and times when things feel very hard. All humans make mistakes. Expecting yourself to act perfectly all day and every day is like asking yourself to stop being human. It is not possible. Instead of helping you, these beliefs make you lose trust in yourself. You start to think you will never change. Some people feel hopeless and sad. They start to believe that not following strict rules means they are not good, and they do not deserve new chances. This can lead to more stress and even to avoiding the things you want to change. Without knowing it, many people start to use discipline as a way to hurt themselves, not as a way to grow or take care of themselves. They believe that punishment is the only way to stay on track. If they eat too much, they skip a meal the next day. If they stay in bed too late, they force themselves to work twice as hard. But these punishments do not build good habits. They only make people feel worse. When discipline is all about being strict and forcing yourself, it feels heavy. You carry a weight inside every day. Habits feel hard. You do not want to try, because trying always brings pain and more stress. Over time, you may stop believing that change is possible at all. If all of this feels true for you, do not worry. You are not alone. Many people, everywhere in the world, feel this way. It does not mean you are a failure, and it does not mean you cannot change. It only means that the beliefs you learned about discipline are not helping you. Understanding why people believe these things can help you start to see change in a new way. It might not be about pushing yourself harder. It might not be about being perfect. It might not be about strict rules, shame, or punishment. It is possible that there is another way to build habits and change your life, a way that is gentle, caring, and honest. But before you can see that new way, it is important to know where you are starting from. Most people have tried the strict road to discipline. Most people have felt tired, sad, and frustrated. Many people have stopped trying to change because it felt too hard. If this is your story, you have already taken the first step by noticing how you feel. Ask yourself, have you ever tried to change something by being very hard on yourself? Have you set rules that were too strict and then felt like a failure when you did not meet them? Have you called yourself names or punished yourself for small mistakes? If your answer is yes, remember that you are not alone. These beliefs are common, but that does not mean they are true or helpful. They have shaped how many people see discipline and change. But there is another way. In the next chapters, you will find ways to let go of these harsh ideas and learn how to make positive changes with kindness and honesty. But first, it is enough to see that the strict, punishing way of discipline does not really work for most people. Knowing this is the first door to a new and better path. It is easy to feel lost or disappointed when you keep trying to change your habits and only feel more tired or upset. Many people think that being very hard on themselves is the only way to grow. You might hope that if you are strict enough, you will finally have the willpower to do everything right. Every mistake and every day you do not follow your plan can seem like proof that you are not strong enough. You might believe that you must push harder, make even stricter rules, and never let yourself rest or relax. But even after trying all of this, you might notice that your life is not really getting better. You could feel more tired, more stressed, and less hopeful. The things you wanted to change, like eating healthier, exercising, or studying regularly, seem even harder than before. You wonder why these strict rules do not help you make changes that last. This is a problem that affects many people. When you are harsh and critical with yourself, you might think you are helping. But harshness and criticism often do the opposite. Being tough on yourself makes changing even more difficult. It does not give you extra strength. It does not give you lasting motivation. Instead, it brings stress, frustration, and sadness. Every new habit feels heavy and tiring. You might notice that every time you set a strict rule and break it, you feel disappointed. You could start your week with strong goals, like waking up at 6 o'clock each day or exercising for 60 minutes. But if you miss one day, you might feel as if you have failed completely. Instead of moving forward, you focus on the mistake and forget all the effort you made the days before. This makes you less excited to try again. When you use harsh words with yourself, your mind feels smaller and more afraid. If you say things like, "I am weak," or "I am lazy," your mind starts to believe these things. These words do not bring you closer to your goal. They only create new pain and sadness inside you. You stop seeing yourself as a person who is learning. You start to see yourself as a person who is always failing. Over time, the more you criticize yourself, the less hope you have. Your energy becomes lower. Life feels heavy and each habit feels too hard to change. Even when you try to start again, you remember all the times you did not succeed before. You feel nervous and afraid that you will only make the same mistakes. The fear of failing again grows each day. Some people think that being strict and criticizing yourself will automatically give you willpower. They believe that harshness creates strength. But willpower does not work like this. Being harsh does not make your mind stronger. Harshness makes your mind tired and worried, and it takes away your desire to try. You might notice that it is easy to set very strict rules when you are feeling motivated. At the start of a new habit, you feel excited. You make promises to yourself. You plan to do everything right. But when a difficult day comes, a day when you do not have much energy or something unexpected happens, you break one of your strict rules. This moment is hard. If you are harsh with yourself, your first thought is, "I should have tried harder," or "I have no self-control." This pattern happens again and again. The stricter your rules, the more likely it is that you will break them. Life is not the same every single day. Sometimes you are tired. Sometimes you are busy. Sometimes you are sad or worried. When you only give yourself strict rules with no room for mistakes, you do not allow space for real life to happen. Each time you do not follow your own rules, you might punish yourself. You get angry inside. You repeat to yourself that you are not good enough. You use all your energy just to fight your thoughts and push down your feelings. This does not make you strong. It makes you feel trapped and unhappy. When you feel trapped and unhappy, it is hard to make progress. You might try for a few days or weeks, but then you give up. You do not want to feel pain every time you miss a step. Quitting feels easier than facing more disappointment and sadness. You return to your old habits, even though you wish you could change. The process repeats over and over. Some people try to escape the pain by making even stricter rules next time. They might decide that the reason they failed was because they were not hard enough on themselves. So they set more rules, more punishments, and higher expectations. But this only brings more stress, and the same cycle continues. The truth is, harshness does not help your mind grow. It can block your progress and shut down your hope. When you are harsh, your mind becomes afraid to try new things. It does not want to face more anger or disappointment. Even small habits feel impossible to keep because the cost of making a mistake is too high. When your mind is under constant stress, it is hard to think clearly. You worry about your mistakes more than you celebrate your effort. You feel as if you must always be perfect. This kind of thinking takes away your ability to learn and grow. Instead of seeing each step as a chance to learn, you see every mistake as a reason to give up. You might also notice that when you are harsh on yourself, it is hard to feel pleasure in your progress. You could finish a whole week of healthy eating or walking, but if you miss one day, you remember only that day. The progress you made feels invisible. The small wins do not matter. The only thing you see is the rule you broke. Instead of feeling proud and encouraged, you feel frustrated and sad. Self-criticism can also make you hide from others. You may feel embarrassed about your failures, so you do not talk about your habits with friends or family. You keep your struggles a secret. You pretend that everything is fine. But hiding makes you feel lonely. It keeps you from getting the support you need and makes you feel as if you are the only one having a hard time. Self-judgment closes your mind and makes you less open to new solutions. If you believe you are just lazy or weak, you do not look for better ways to help yourself. You stop asking, "Why was this hard for me today?" Or "What could I try that might work better?" Instead, you keep blaming yourself, and nothing changes. This way of thinking can go deeper and affect your whole life. You start to see yourself through the eyes of your failures. You stop trusting that you can change. You feel less hope, less energy, and less excitement about your goals. Your mind becomes a place where only strict rules and harsh words live. For many people, the pain of this cycle is so strong that it is easier to stop trying altogether. Giving up becomes a way to protect yourself from disappointment. You avoid setting new goals so that you do not have to risk failing again. Your dreams and wishes for change feel smaller, and you settle for things as they are, even when they do not make you happy. The harsh way does not just hurt your mind, it can hurt your body too. High stress from self-criticism can cause you to have trouble sleeping. It can make your stomach upset or give you headaches. You might feel tense or tired much of the time. When your mind is not at peace, your whole body feels the stress. Some people may notice they get sick more often, or little problems seem much bigger than they are. The mind and body are connected. When one is suffering, the other feels it too. You end up feeling worse, not better, when you are harsh with yourself. Sometimes people think that strict self-control will help them stay away from bad habits like eating too much junk food or spending too much time sitting. They might make a promise like, "I will never eat sugar again," or "I will go for a walk every single morning." But when a hard day comes or they feel very tired, it is almost impossible to follow the rule. Instead of feeling strong, they end up eating more sweets or staying at home feeling bad. The guilt grows, and the situation becomes worse. What really happens is that harshness creates a fear of trying. If you think every mistake means you are a bad person, it feels safer never to try at all. The pain of failing is too much to risk. Your world gets smaller. You avoid new habits, new challenges, and new experiences because you are afraid of feeling that pain inside again. Some people punish themselves as a way to show they are serious about change. They might skip meals because they ate too much one day. They might force themselves to work out longer if they missed a day before. But punishment only brings more pain. It does not build real strength or lasting habits. It makes life harder and less joyful. You do not learn from punishment. You only learn to be afraid, to hide, and to feel small. A question you can ask is, if harshness does not bring change, what does it really do? It closes your mind, reduces your hope, and makes you feel stuck. It blocks your ability to learn from your mistakes. It builds walls inside you between who you are and who you want to become. You may know someone who always seems to be starting a new plan or a new diet, always with strict rules and always ending in disappointment. Maybe you have been this person. This repeating story is not because you are weak. It is because the strict, harsh way does not help you grow. It keeps you in a cycle of pain and giving up. Learning from mistakes is one of the most important parts of growing and changing. But harshness makes mistakes feel dangerous. Instead of looking at what happened and finding ways to improve, you hide from your mistakes or try to forget them. You do not get a chance to understand what you need. You miss the lessons that could help you do better next time. Real growth needs a mind that is open, hopeful, and willing to try again. You do not build this kind of mind with strict rules and self-criticism. You build it with care, softness, and understanding. You build it by asking, "Why was this hard for me today?" instead of judging yourself. Think about the moments when you did not follow your rules. If you remember to ask why it was difficult and listen for real answers, maybe you were tired or worried or busy, you get important information. You can learn what helps you and what makes things hard. You can give yourself better tools and try a new way next time. But self-judgment never lets you do this. It keeps you stuck in pain. Some people believe that if they are not hard on themselves, they will give up and become lazy. But harshness is not the only way to avoid doing nothing. There are other ways to guide yourself that do not cause pain or sadness. You can remind yourself of your reasons for wanting to change. You can notice your progress, even when it is small. You can be gentle and honest while also taking steps forward. If you look back at all the times you have tried to build a new habit with harshness and strict rules, you will probably see that it did not last. You may have started strong, but stress and disappointment soon made you stop. The sadness of not reaching your own high standards made you want to quit. The cycle repeated again. This cycle does not mean you are weak. It means that the way you have been taught to make changes is not working. The strict method may sound strong, but it usually does not last. It does not help you build habits that stay with you for months or years. It does not help your mind feel safe or your heart feel proud. Instead of force and criticism, what usually works better is a sense of caring. A caring approach asks what you need, helps you forgive your mistakes, and lets you learn step by step. It is possible to make mistakes and keep going. It is possible to face a hard day and come back again tomorrow. You do not need to give up, even when you break your own rules. Every person who has ever changed their life has faced setbacks and challenges. The difference comes from how you treat yourself during these hard times. Many people believe that they cannot change unless they are perfect and strict. They feel trapped in the belief that only harshness brings growth. But if you look at your own journey honestly, you will see that harshness has only made you tired, sad, and afraid. There is no need to continue down the path of self-criticism and painful rules. You can make habits that last by choosing a new way, one that cares for your real needs and listens to your real experiences. Being gentle and honest with yourself does not mean you give up your goals. It means you respect your own journey. You notice your wins, no matter how small. You look at your mistakes as chances to learn, not as reasons to feel ashamed. This kind way lets you keep going, even when things are difficult. Letting go of harshness makes space for understanding. You can ask better questions. You can find out what helps you and what stops you. You can build habits that fit your real life, not habits that only work when everything is perfect. Choosing not to be harsh does not make you lazy. It means you care about your mind and body. It means you choose progress over pain and learning over fear. Change becomes possible again. You begin to see hope instead of only problems. Caring for yourself is not the same as making excuses. It is not ignoring your goals or saying your habits do not matter. It is a choice to build your discipline from a softer and more honest place. This way, you do not need to fight yourself every day. You can walk your path step by step, learning and adjusting as you grow. When you replace harshness with care, you open a door to new ways of thinking. You do not have to follow strict and painful rules to make your life better. You only need to take small steps with kindness and honesty, each day moving closer to the person you want to be. Your mind will begin to trust you again. Your hope will return. Each effort will become easier, not heavier. With gentle guidance, you will find answers that work for you, not against you. Changing habits becomes something possible, even for someone who has struggled many times before. Every person has the strength to change, but that strength grows best with caring and understanding. You do not need to force yourself. You do not need to use self-criticism or strict rules. You can choose a new way, one that lets you move forward, grow, and feel proud, step by step, with patience and care. As you move forward, you can learn how your mind really works when habits begin to change, and how caring for your real self can make all the difference in your journey. Many people feel confused and disappointed when it seems that discipline does not work, even though they try very hard. This often happens because people do not really understand how the mind works when they are trying to change their habits. If you look at your daily life, you might notice that some things feel very easy to do, while other things feel difficult or uncomfortable. The mind has a special way of helping us, and it tries to protect us every day. It is important to understand that your mind is not trying to stop you from growing or getting better. Your mind is just doing its job, which is to help you feel safe and at peace. When you try to make a new habit or break an old one, you are asking your mind to do something different from what it is used to. The mind is always learning, and it uses memories and repeated actions to decide what is normal and safe for you. If you have done something many times, like brushing your teeth before bed or drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, your mind remembers this. After you do something the same way for many days, your mind creates a habit. This means that you do the action almost without thinking. The mind helps you by making these actions very easy and automatic. Habits help save your energy. You do not have to think about every step you take when you do something you have done before. You can do simple things, like tying your shoes, turning off the lights, or locking the door, without thinking about every small move. This way, the mind uses less energy on simple things, so you can focus on more important or new things that happen during your day. But your mind is also trying to protect you from anything that feels new or too different. When you want to change something in your life, the mind might feel nervous or anxious. This is because the mind does not know if the new action is safe. It tries to keep you in a place where you feel comfortable, even if that place is not always good for you. For example, imagine you want to start going for a walk every morning. You decide to do this because you want to feel healthier. In the first days, the new decision feels exciting, but your mind does not know this action very well yet. When you wake up early and try to go for a walk, your mind might give you thoughts like, "Stay in bed, it is warm here," or "You can walk tomorrow instead." These thoughts are not because you are weak. They are just your mind's way of trying to keep you comfortable and safe. If you try to push very hard or force yourself with strict rules, your mind can react in a strong way. Sometimes it gives you more uncomfortable feelings, like doubt or fear. These feelings are messages the mind sends to warn you about something new or uncertain. When you fight against your mind or use harsh words to push yourself, your mind does not calm down. Instead, it becomes more stressed or worried, and you feel even more discomfort. The mind is also very good at remembering pain or discomfort. If you tried to change a habit before and it did not work, your mind remembers the stress you felt. When you try to change again, your mind might remind you about those past moments. It might give you thoughts like, "Last time you tried, you failed," or "This is too hard for you." These are not the truth about who you are. These are just memories from your past experiences. Your mind tries to use old information to protect you from disappointment or pain. Over time, the mind gets very used to certain patterns. It feels safe with what is familiar, even if the familiar habit is not healthy or helpful. That is why it can be so difficult to change habits like eating too much sugar, staying up late, or not moving your body. Your mind has learned that these actions are normal because you have done them many times. When you try to do something different, your mind feels a little afraid or unsure. Everyhow, the mind is not against you. It is very important to see this clearly. Your mind wants you to feel calm, safe, and comfortable. It tries to protect you by making easy choices or keeping you away from things that are new or hard. But this protection can sometimes stop you from making the changes you truly want. The mind also likes to save effort. It wants to do things the easiest way. If you have a habit like watching television after dinner or eating snacks late at night, it feels normal, and the mind does not have to work hard. When you try to do something new, like reading a book instead of watching television, your mind must use more energy to remember and push through the discomfort. Habits are created by something called repetition. When you do the same thing again and again, your mind builds a pathway for that habit. It becomes easier with each day. But starting something new feels much harder at first because the habit pathway is not strong yet. Your mind will want to go back to the old habit because that is what it knows very well. You might notice that when you try to make a new habit, you use a lot of energy thinking about it, planning it, and trying to remember why it is important. This is normal. At the beginning, new habits require more energy from your mind because they are not automatic yet. As you keep going, the new action feels a little easier each time. After many days or weeks, the new habit can feel normal and your mind uses less energy because the pathway is stronger. Sometimes the mind tries to help you skip steps to save effort. For example, if you want to exercise every afternoon, your mind might try to convince you that you are too tired or too busy today. It might tell you to wait until tomorrow. This is not because you are lazy. Your mind is just trying to use less energy and stick to what it knows. Change can feel very slow for this reason. Your mind needs time to get used to new actions. It needs to feel safe and comfortable with what is different. When your mind feels rushed or forced, it can push back with more worry or stress. But when your mind has time to practice and feel safe, it allows new habits to grow stronger. You may have also noticed that some people can change their habits faster than others. This does not mean one person is better or stronger. It usually means that the mind of the person who changes faster feels safer and more ready for the new habit. Sometimes outside help can make a difference. For example, support from a friend or family member can help your mind feel less afraid and more comfortable with change. Another important thing to notice about how your mind works is that it tries to protect you from pain. If you have a strong emotion like sadness or anger, your mind remembers it. The next time you try something similar, your mind sends you warning feelings to keep you away from discomfort. This is why people sometimes avoid things that made them feel sad or stressed before. If you failed a diet or exercise routine in the past and felt bad, your mind remembers that pain, and next time, it tries to stop you from feeling it again. It is also very common for the mind to use excuses as a way to protect you from new things. If you say, "I do not have time," or "I am not ready," or "I will start later," this is your mind's way of giving you reasons to stay in your comfort zone. These excuses feel real, but they are often just a sign that your mind feels nervous about change. When you notice these thoughts and excuses, it helps to remind yourself that every mind does this. It does not mean you are failing. It is a natural part of the mind's job to keep you safe and use less energy. If you want to change a habit, knowing this about your mind makes you stronger. It means that you can be patient and gentle when these thoughts come. You can thank your mind for trying to protect you and then choose to keep going with your new habit. Your mind also responds to rewards. If you do something new and feel good after, your mind is more likely to repeat it. If you do something hard but then feel sad or punished, your mind will want to avoid it next time. That is why it is helpful to find ways to enjoy your new habits, even in small ways. A smile, a small celebration, or a kind word to yourself can help your mind feel good about the change. Sometimes people get stuck because they do not understand that the mind needs safety, comfort, and time. If you try to rush your mind or force it with harsh words or strict rules, it feels like danger. The mind becomes more anxious and you feel more frustration. Instead, if you treat your mind like a friend and work with it, giving it time to adjust, you have a much better chance of building new habits. The mind also learns from the people around you. If your family and friends have certain habits, your mind sees these habits as normal. If everyone around you eats certain foods or spends time in a certain way, your mind will want to follow that pattern. This is not because you do not have your own ideas. It is because humans learn by watching and copying others. When you try to change, it can feel hard if people around you do not make the same changes. Understanding this can help you be patient with yourself. If you want a new habit, like eating differently or going to bed earlier, you may need extra time if the people around you have other habits. Your mind will want to stay similar to others for comfort and safety, but this does not mean you cannot change. It just means the journey might take more time. Another way the mind works is by using old beliefs. If you have always thought that you are not good at something, or that you cannot change, your mind keeps these beliefs to protect you from disappointment. Sometimes you may hear a voice inside saying, "This is too hard," or "You will fail again." These voices are not the truth. They are old thoughts based on past experiences. If you can notice these thoughts and be kind to yourself, you can start to build new beliefs. Changing beliefs is not something that happens very quickly. Your mind needs proof that things are different. If you try a new habit and do it for a few days, remind yourself that you are building a new story in your mind. Each small success helps your mind trust the new habit and believe it is possible. When you understand that your mind uses habits and beliefs to keep you safe, you can start to use this understanding for your own good. Instead of blaming yourself, you can work with your mind. You can give your mind reasons to feel safe and comfortable with new habits. For example, if you want to start reading 10 pages of a book every night but find it hard after working all day, you can help your mind by making the new habit as easy as possible. Maybe you put the book next to your bed, or you choose a book that is fun to read. Each small action that makes your mind feel good helps the new habit grow stronger. Another helpful step is to start with small changes. If your mind feels a new habit is too big, it will try to stop you. But if you choose something very small, your mind feels less afraid, and it is easier to keep going. After many days, the small change becomes normal, and your mind can handle a little more change. There will always be moments when your mind makes you want to stop, go back, or give up on a new habit. When this happens, it does not mean you have failed. It only means that your mind needs a little more time to adjust and feel safe. You can slow down, be gentle with yourself, and take another small step forward. The mind is always learning. Every day, it collects new information and creates patterns. If you are patient and keep practicing your new habit, your mind will begin to see it as normal. It will use less energy to remember and do the habit, and it will give you fewer nervous thoughts or doubts. If you notice that you get stuck or feel very anxious every time you try to make a change, it can help to talk to someone you trust. Sharing your thoughts can make your mind feel less alone and more supported. Sometimes, just saying out loud, "I am finding this habit hard," can give your mind some relief. It is also helpful to celebrate every small win. When you do something new, even for just one day, say to yourself, "I did it today." This reward helps your mind feel proud and more open to repeating the habit tomorrow. You do not have to be perfect to make your mind happy. Progress, even very slow progress, is enough. When you change your habits, you are not fighting against your mind. You are giving your mind new information and teaching it that change can be safe and good. You can do this by being caring toward yourself, making each new habit as easy as possible, and noticing the good feelings that come with each small step. Your mind is powerful. It can learn new things at any age. It can build new habits if you give it time, care, and patience. Understanding how your mind works gives you an advantage. You do not need to be strict or harsh to create change. You only need to work with your mind, not against it. When you look at changing your habits as a way of teaching your mind, instead of a battle, the process becomes less scary. You have tools inside you: patience, kindness, small steps, and support. Your mind can help you if you help your mind. Instead of feeling angry when change is slow, remember that your mind is doing its best. Instead of thinking you do not have enough willpower, remember that your mind is always learning and wants to protect you. Each day you practice, your mind learns a little more. Each time you make the new habit easier, you help your mind trust the process. You will find that being gentle and honest with your mind creates more space for good changes to grow. It is not about forcing yourself. It is about caring for your mind as you take each new step. This caring approach makes it much easier for your mind to accept change and build strong new habits over time. Sometimes, after many days of practicing a new habit, you may feel proud, but also notice moments when your mind wonders if the change is really safe or possible. Even when you are careful and gentle, there can still be days when old habits feel stronger than the new ones. You may feel the urge to go back to what is easy and familiar. People often react to these difficult moments by trying even harder to control their own minds. This is when many think that fighting the mind is the only way to win. When challenges appear, many quickly believe the answer is to push more, to use force, and to defeat every thought or feeling that seems to get in the way. This way of thinking is very common. Many people believe that if they fight their mind, they will become stronger and finally make the changes they want. They tell themselves things such as, "I must conquer my bad thoughts," or "I have to control every part of myself." When an unhelpful thought appears, they try to push it away. If a feeling of weakness or laziness shows up, they act as if they have to punish that feeling or get rid of it immediately. The idea is to treat thoughts and feelings like enemies that must be destroyed. If you look at how this works in daily life, you can see how tiring it becomes. Someone may wake up in the morning full of energy, ready to follow their new plan. When the first hard moment comes, maybe after breakfast or later in the day, a thought appears. Do I really have to exercise now? Or maybe I can skip today. Right away, a strong voice inside says, "No, do not listen to that. You must do better. You must be stronger." All of this happens very quickly. The person tries to fight the soft part of themselves with loud, strict commands. The problem is that when you fight your mind like this, your mind pushes back. It does not like to feel threatened or forced. Every time you get into a battle with yourself, the feelings of stress and worry become bigger. Even if you win for one day, the discomfort grows deeper inside. Your mind does not forget what it feels. It remembers the tension, the stress, and the way you treated it when it was scared or uncertain. When this continues, your mind learns not to trust you. It learns that when new changes appear, they bring pain or fear, not safety or happiness. You might not notice this at first, but it slowly changes your experience. The next time you want to build a habit, your mind remembers all the old battles. It feels nervous and tries to resist you right from the start, even when you really want to improve. You may feel frustrated about all these struggles. Many people blame themselves thinking, "If only I could fight harder, I would change." But the truth is, the more you try to force your mind to obey, the more tired and unhappy you become. Your mind is not the enemy. It is not something bad that you need to win against. It is simply trying to protect you. Some people believe they must make their mind quiet and never allow doubt or fear to appear. They might use strong language or strict punishments every time they notice a thought they do not like. Some people even try to ignore their feelings, hoping that if they pretend not to see a problem, it will just go away. This is not what helps you grow. When you try to use force, you might notice that the uncomfortable thoughts or feelings come back stronger. If you tell yourself, "You must not feel tired," or "You are not allowed to be sad," you will usually feel even more tired or sad. The mind brings these feelings back to try to get your attention. If you continue to push your mind away, it feels even less safe. This is how the cycle of fighting yourself begins and becomes painful. The truth is, every person has moments of doubt, fear, or tiredness. It is impossible to escape them completely. These feelings and thoughts are normal. They are signs that your mind is paying attention to what is new and different. If you try to fight them, you lose the chance to understand what is really happening inside you. Some people try to manage this fight with strict schedules and big challenges. For example, they might plan their day hour by hour, from the moment they wake up until the moment they sleep. They fill every single minute to make sure there is no room for old habits or bad thoughts. But even with the best plan, real life does not follow a perfect schedule. Some days are busy. Some days you might feel unwell. Some days new surprises come, and your perfect plan does not fit reality. When you cannot follow your strict schedule, you might feel defeated and angry. Your mind starts to believe that you will never change. You may start thinking things like, "I am not strong enough," or "Everyone else can do this, but I cannot." You stop looking for ways to make real progress and spend your energy blaming yourself. Every small mistake looks like a big problem. Every hard day feels like a step backward. If you use punishment to try to fix yourself, you only create more pain. Some people make themselves skip meals or do extra hard work as a way to make up for what they see as a failure. This does not create good habits. It only teaches your mind to be afraid. The next time you try to change, your mind will remember this pain and try even harder to resist. Sometimes, fighting the mind turns into a habit by itself. Without noticing, you start each day with a battle. You wake up and already feel worried about failing. You wait for the first sign of weakness and prepare yourself to attack it. You do not notice the small good things you are doing because you are always looking for mistakes to fight. Life loses its sense of joy and hope. Your mind feels heavy, your body feels tired, and your progress becomes slower instead of faster. You may not realize how common this is. Many people walk around every day fighting their own minds, thinking this is the only way to grow. They are afraid that if they let go of the fight, they will fall back into old habits forever. But the reality is, the more you fight, the harder change becomes. The mind cannot learn new things while it is afraid or under attack. What happens inside you when you stop fighting? When you stop using force, the mind can calm down. It feels safer and more open. The uncomfortable thoughts and feelings do not disappear, but they become smaller and less scary. When your mind does not feel attacked, it is more willing to try again, even after a mistake. You can see this when you pay attention to how your mind reacts to kind words and safe experiences. If you say something gentle or patient to yourself, your mind feels calm. If you allow yourself to rest after a hard day instead of punishing yourself, your mind feels cared for. The need to fight gets smaller, and your mind can focus better on the changes you want. Many people ask, how do I stop fighting my mind? The answer is not always easy, because you have practiced the fight for many years. It starts with noticing when the battle begins. When you feel an urge to use force, pause and ask what your mind is trying to say. Maybe it is asking for rest. Maybe it is afraid of a new experience. Maybe it remembers a hard day in the past. Listen to that message without judgment. You do not need to fight it. You only need to be present with what is there. You may still need to guide your mind and remind yourself about your goals. But guidance is different from force. Guidance means helping your mind feel safe to try new things. It means giving yourself clear steps and using kind words. If you notice an unhelpful thought, you can say, I see that you are worried. It is okay to be worried. Let us try together. This kind of guidance means working with your mind, not against it. You might think that being less strict will make you lazy or weak, but real strength comes from supporting yourself, not from attacking yourself. If you look at your efforts honestly, you will see that every time you made progress was likely during times when you felt safe, calm, or hopeful, not during times when you were at war with your mind. Some people worry that if they stop fighting, they will never improve. The truth is, progress happens more easily when your mind trusts you. If you help your mind feel safe, you can still make changes, but the energy you use is gentle, not forceful. Habits become stronger as the mind relaxes and feels more comfortable with new routines. Instead of fighting, you can use understanding. When something feels hard, ask yourself why. Think about what happened that day. Did you sleep well? Did you have a hard conversation at work? Did you feel lonely or upset? These questions can show you the real reasons behind your habits. You do not have to punish yourself. You can give your mind the support it needs. Some days you will make mistakes, and that is normal. You might break your new habit or forget your plan. Instead of fighting your mind and feeling angry, you can choose to be gentle. You can say, "It was a hard day. That is okay. I will try again tomorrow." When the mind hears this, it feels hope. The next day, it is easier to start again. Step by step, your mind learns that making mistakes is not dangerous, and change becomes possible. There are moments when you need to take action. But action guided by care is much more effective than action guided by pressure or fear. If you treat yourself in a kind and supportive way, you are more likely to keep trying, even after setbacks. Your mind feels less afraid of trying new things, so you build stronger habits. You can practice being patient with your mind. When you have an unhelpful thought, let it come and go. When a feeling of tiredness appears, notice it but do not fight it. You can rest and try again later. Small acts of patience teach your mind that it is safe to be imperfect. Every new habit needs time to grow, and the mind needs proof that you will not attack it when things become hard. If you still want to make plans and set goals, that is good. But allow your plans to have space for real life. If you plan to exercise but you feel sick, change your plan for that day. If you want to read every night but your day is very busy, read for just a few minutes. When you treat your mind with care, you show it that you can change plans without giving up. Progress happens even with small steps. You might also notice that sharing your thoughts with others can help. If you tell a friend or loved one about your struggles, your mind feels less alone. You realize that everyone has moments of doubt and worry. You see that fighting your mind is not something you must do alone, and that care from others brings healing. Many people find it hard to let go of the fight because they are afraid of failing. But failure is not the end. The mind learns from every attempt. If you keep starting again, even after mistakes, your mind grows stronger and more hopeful. Over time, the need to fight goes away, and you find yourself moving forward with less stress. Sometimes you may notice that you return to old habits because they feel comfortable. This is not because you are weak. It is because your mind feels safer with things it already knows. If you want to change, give your mind small reasons to feel good about the new habit. Celebrate every success. Notice when things feel better or easier. Slowly, your mind will prefer the new habit because it brings comfort, not pain or fighting. People who stop fighting their minds often discover more peace and patience. They see progress, even if it comes slowly. The mind opens up new ideas and tries new things without feeling afraid. You do not need to win a battle every day. You only need to support your mind as it learns to trust that new ways are possible. Change is not about pushing yourself until you break. It is about guiding yourself with care, letting your mind feel safe, and celebrating every small victory. You do not need to control every thought or feeling. You can notice them, learn from them, and still keep moving forward. If you stop blaming yourself or treating your mind as an enemy, you will notice how much easier it is to try, to start again, and to enjoy life. Your journey becomes more peaceful. You have more energy to use on things that truly matter, instead of spending it on fighting and feeling disappointed. Being gentle with yourself allows your true discipline to grow from the inside. Your mind is not something to defeat. It is something to understand. When you care, listen, guide, and support your mind, you find new paths to growth and change. The next time you feel the urge to fight against your thoughts or punish yourself for a mistake, pause. Take a breath. Remember that your mind wants to help you. Change can happen step by step with care and honesty. The good habits you want will come not by fighting, but by helping your mind feel safe, calm, and supported as you practice new ways each day. When you take a moment to pause and breathe, you give your mind a chance to feel safe and listened to. Instead of telling yourself to fight or control your thoughts, you offer care and understanding. This is a new way to build discipline. Many people do not know that changing your habits does not have to involve pain or harshness toward yourself. Real and lasting discipline can be built on being gentle, honest, and caring with your mind in your daily life. Imagine you want to wake up early every morning. On some days, you manage to do it and you feel happy. On other days, you might feel tired or have trouble sleeping and you wake up late. Instead of shouting at yourself in your mind or thinking that you are lazy, you can try to talk to yourself with respect and kindness. You can say, "I wanted to wake up early, but I was tired. What made it hard for me today?" Maybe you realized that you went to sleep too late or were stressed the night before. When you stop to look at what really happened, you learn something useful about yourself. Being gentle is not the same as making excuses or giving up your goals. Being gentle means being honest about how you feel and what is happening in your life. You can say to yourself, "It was a hard day and I needed extra rest." You can try small changes, like getting ready for bed earlier or calming your thoughts before sleeping. By listening and caring, you let your mind know that it is safe to try again tomorrow. Honesty is an important part of this gentle way. When you make a mistake or miss a habit, you do not hide from it or pretend it did not happen. Instead, you look at the real reason why it was difficult. Maybe you were very busy. Maybe your body was tired or you were feeling sad. Maybe your mind was full of worry. By seeing the truth, you help yourself learn what is happening instead of just criticizing yourself. For example, you may want to eat healthier food. You try to eat fruits and vegetables each day. One day, you eat something that is not healthy and feel bad about it. You can be harsh or you can be gentle. If you are harsh, you might think, "I am weak. I will never change." If you are gentle, you ask, "Why did I choose this food? Was I very hungry? Was I in a rush? Was I feeling stressed?" The gentle way helps you see the real reason. Maybe you needed to prepare food earlier. Maybe you needed comfort. When you know the real reason, you can help yourself. You could plan to bring healthy snacks next time or find another way to feel better when you are sad. Caring for yourself also means forgiving mistakes. No person is perfect every day. On some days, you will forget your habits or have a hard time following your plan. This is normal. If you criticize yourself for every mistake, it becomes very hard to continue. But if you say, "It is okay to make mistakes. I am learning," your mind feels safe to try again. You create an environment inside yourself where growth is possible. Being honest also helps you find habits that really suit your life. Sometimes people try to copy the habits or plans of others, thinking those are the only way to make progress. They forget to look at what is true for them. Maybe someone else exercises early in the morning, but you feel better when you exercise later in the day. Maybe someone else enjoys reading, but you prefer to listen to music to relax. When you are honest with yourself, you can choose habits that fit your life and your needs. It is also helpful to think about your true reasons for wanting to change. If you want to stop a habit, ask yourself why. If you want to start a new habit, ask why it matters to you. Maybe you want to be healthier, or you want to have more energy to play with your children, or you want to feel proud of yourself. When your reasons are true and important to you, it is easier to stay motivated, especially on hard days. You can write these reasons down, say them out loud to yourself, or share them with a friend or family member. When you feel tired or unsure, you can remind yourself of your reasons. This brings a gentle strength to your mind. Your goals feel real and alive because they come from inside of you. Another part of being gentle and honest is noticing the small things you do right. Many people focus only on big changes and forget to see the value of small steps. If you want to drink more water, for example, and today you drink one more glass than usual, that is success. If you walk for 10 minutes instead of sitting, that is a step forward. Each small action is important. When you notice your progress, you feel encouraged to keep going. You can also use gentle words when you talk to yourself. If you hear harsh or critical thoughts, you can gently answer them. You can say, "I am learning," or "I am doing my best," or "It is okay to be human." These words make your mind feel supported. They help you feel calm and safe, so change feels less scary. Sometimes people think that being gentle with themselves means allowing any excuse or giving up easily. But real gentleness is strong. It takes courage to see the truth about yourself and to keep trying, even when things are difficult. Gentleness helps you stay open and keep learning, instead of closing off your mind because of shame or fear. If you want to make a plan for building new habits, start by choosing steps that are small and clear. Pick something simple that you know you can do. Maybe you want to move your body more each week. You can promise yourself that you will stretch for 5 minutes each morning instead of telling yourself that you must run for 1 hour. As you succeed with small steps, your confidence grows. Your mind feels proud and safe, and you are ready for a bigger challenge later. When you miss a step or make a mistake, check your feelings. Ask yourself, am I being gentle and honest right now, or am I criticizing myself? If you notice criticism, you can stop and choose a gentle response. You can learn from what happened and then return to your plan. Support from others can also help you practice being gentle. If you have a friend, family member, or teacher who listens and understands, you can share your story. Sometimes, hearing that others also make mistakes and learn from them helps your mind to relax. You can help someone else too, by listening to them with care and honesty. Remember, your mind and body are working together. When you are kind to your mind, your body feels less stress. When you forgive your mistakes, your body feels calmer and healthier. Your energy becomes stronger, and your days start to feel lighter. Patience is a gentle skill you can practice every day. It takes time to build it. When change is slow, remind yourself, growing takes time. Every small step matters. On days when nothing seems to go right, remember that you are building a new path, not following a perfect line. Patience helps you keep going, even when you feel like stopping. You are also allowed to ask for help when you need it. Being gentle means you accept your own limits and needs. If you are very tired, you can rest. If you feel lost, you can ask someone for support. If you do not know how to do something, you can learn slowly. You do not have to do everything alone. Writing your thoughts and experiences can help you be more honest with yourself. You can keep a small notebook or write notes on paper each day. Write what you tried, how you felt, and what you learned. When you look back later, you will see your progress, even if it is slow. Gentleness and honesty are useful in every part of your life. If you are working toward a big goal, like finishing a course or finding a new job, practicing these qualities each day will make the journey easier. Small acts of kindness to yourself every day add up to big changes over months and years. When you fall back into an old habit, remember not to punish yourself. Instead, gently notice what happened. Did you feel stress? Did an unexpected event change your day? Did you forget your plan? Accept what happened, learn from it, and begin again without shame. If you notice your mind getting louder with excuses or worries, take a slow, deep breath. Sit quietly for a moment. Remind yourself, I am safe. I am learning. Every day is a new chance. This simple act can calm your mind so you can keep taking steps forward. You can also remind yourself that change is different for every person. You do not have to copy what other people are doing. You do not have to worry if someone seems to move faster or with more ease. Your life, your mind, and your body are unique. Gentleness and honesty allow you to build habits that work for you. On days when you feel proud of yourself, celebrate your progress. Smile, say a kind word, or share your success with someone you trust. Celebrating helps your mind see that progress brings pleasure and hope. Your body and mind feel more ready for the next step when you feel happy and appreciated. If you are ever unsure of what to do next, return to gentle, honest questions. What do I need right now? How do I really feel? What small step can I take today? These questions open doors to new ideas and help you make choices that are right for you, not just to please others or to follow a strict rule. Over time, your gentle and honest approach will create habits that last. You will notice that you do not have to use harshness or fear. You will not need to fight your mind. You will see growth from inside, a feeling of trust and calm that guides you each day. When you take small steps, your mind learns that change is possible. When you forgive mistakes, your mind learns that it is safe to try again. When you listen to your real needs, your mind and body trust you a little more. Each day is a chance to practice and build discipline with care and respect. As you continue this new way, remember that your journey will have both easy and hard days. There will be times when habits feel simple and times when they feel impossible. Through it all, be gentle and honest with yourself. If you forget your plan, if you feel upset, Or if you want to give up, take a breath and return to care. Your mind will learn that you are always there to help, even when things are not perfect. There is no need to wait for everything to be perfect before you begin. Start with one gentle and honest step today. Notice what helps you and keep moving forward. In this way, discipline becomes something kind, peaceful, and strong, a part of you that will grow for many days, weeks, and years to come. As you begin to notice your own needs and care for yourself with honesty and patience, the process of change becomes less stressful and more real. Now, you may wonder how habits are actually created and how you can help yourself change in a way that lasts. Many people think they must change everything at once to see results, but real habit change happens with very small steps, repeated over time. When you look at the habits you have now, you will see that most of them did not begin as big actions. They started as small things that you repeated, maybe without even thinking. For example, if you drink a glass of water when you wake up, you probably began doing this one day, then did it again the next day, and soon it became part of your normal morning. The same is true if you tend to watch television after dinner or look at your phone before sleeping. These habits began as simple choices that you made more than once. The mind creates habits by repeating actions. When you do something again and again, your mind remembers the order of events, how the action feels, and the results you get. Each time you repeat a small action, your mind makes the path a little stronger. After many days, or sometimes even weeks, the action feels automatic. You no longer have to think about it or remind yourself. This is what a real habit feels like. Building a new habit is possible for anyone. There is no special gift or secret power you need. All you need is the simple skill of repeating a small action every day. You can start with something so easy that you know you can do it, no matter how busy or tired you feel. This could be writing one sentence in a notebook each night, stretching your arms when you wake up, or drinking one extra glass of water during the afternoon. Small steps work because they help your mind feel safe and confident. When a step is very simple, your mind does not feel stressed or afraid. You do not need extra motivation or willpower to complete it. You can do it almost without thinking. The important thing is to choose something so small and clear that you have no doubt you can do it. If you try to change everything at once, or create a very large goal right away, your mind quickly feels overwhelmed. For example, if you decide to exercise for 60 minutes every day, after not exercising for many weeks, your mind and body may resist. You may feel tired, or you may lose your interest quickly because the step is too big. This is not a failure. It is simply how the mind and body react to change. Instead, you can begin by choosing a step that is less than you think you need. If your goal is to exercise more, you can begin by standing up and stretching for 5 minutes after lunch. If your goal is to read more books, you can read just one page each night before sleep. If you want to eat healthier, add one piece of fruit to your breakfast each day. These actions are so small they may seem unimportant, but the truth is, they are the strongest way to help your mind build a new habit. After you repeat the small step for several days, your mind feels safe and the action gets easier. If you feel the small habit becoming normal, you can add a little more. For example, you can stretch for 10 minutes, or read 2 pages, or add a second fruit to your breakfast. Each new step is small, but over time, these small steps become a big change. If you ever feel that you are not doing enough, remember that every big change is made from many small steps. Imagine someone who wants to run 5 kilometers. If that person never runs, it would be hard to start by running all 5 kilometers on the first day. But if that person walks for 5 minutes on the first day, then 10 minutes on the second day, and keeps going, in a few weeks they will be much stronger. The process is the same for any new habit. There is no perfect amount of time that a habit takes to grow. Some habits become automatic in a few weeks. Some take many months. It depends on the person, the habit, and your own life. What is important is that you keep repeating your small step each day, even if some days you make a mistake. Mistakes are part of learning. When you miss a day, it does not mean your habit is broken forever. If you are gentle and accept your mistake, you can return to your small step the next day. The mind learns by seeing you try again, even after missing a day. Slowly, your mind trusts that this new action is here to stay. To help yourself remember your new habit, you can connect it to something you already do. For example, if you want to take a deep breath in the morning, do it right after brushing your teeth. If you want to drink more water, fill your cup at the same time you start working. The mind follows routines easily, and linking a new habit with something familiar makes it easier to remember. You can also set gentle reminders, like a small note on your desk or a message on your phone, to help you remember your small step. If you miss your step one day, do not be angry at yourself. Just notice it and try again the next day. Making your small habit enjoyable is important too. If you smile, play music, or celebrate a little when you do the step, your mind and body feel good and you want to do it again. Every time you feel pleasure or pride after your small habit, your mind learns that this is a good thing. This feeling helps the habit get stronger. Some people feel shy about celebrating small actions or think that these actions are too small. But each small step is a real success. Even if you only read one page or take 1 minute to breathe, you are building trust in yourself. Small wins add up to bigger ones over time. You may notice that some days you want to do more than your small step. That is wonderful, but do not make extra effort a requirement. You only need to keep your promise to do the small step. If you do more, see it as a bonus. This way, you do not feel pressure and you can always return to your simple step on hard days. Building a habit always takes practice. Your mind may need many days to believe the action is safe and important. There will be days you forget or feel less motivated. Do not let these days stop your progress. Be as gentle with yourself on a hard day as you would be with a good friend. If you can, write down your progress. Even making a small note about your step each day or marking an X on a calendar helps you see that you are trying. Looking back after a few weeks, you will see that you have done more than you thought. It is important to know that everyone's journey is different. Some people build habits quickly, and for others it goes slowly. You are not behind, and you do not have to compare your speed or your steps with anyone else. Your life, your body, and your mind are special and unique. Many kinds of habits can be built with small steps. If you want to move your body more, start with stretching or walking around your house. If you want to cook more at home, begin by making one simple meal each week. If you want to sleep better, start with turning off your phone a few minutes before bed. Each small choice supports your bigger goal. Working with small steps is also kind to your body. Sudden, big changes can be hard for your muscles and energy. Gentle, repeated actions give your body a chance to learn and to feel well. If you feel pain or get very tired, go back to a smaller step. This helps you recover and stay on your path. Sometimes the world around you may not notice your small changes, but you will feel the difference. Maybe you have more energy. Maybe your thoughts feel calmer, or you feel proud for keeping your promise to yourself. These quiet changes are just as special as any big achievement. If you share your progress with someone you trust, you may feel more supported. Tell a friend, family member, or classmate about your small step and ask them to listen. If they are working on a habit too, you can encourage each other. Even a few kind words from another person can help your mind feel strong enough to continue. When you build habits with small steps, you create a pattern of success. Each time you do your small action, you show yourself that you can be trusted. Your mind and body become less fearful of change, and you become more comfortable trying new things. Habits are not built in a day. They grow from repeating small steps again and again. There will be days when you feel excited and days when you feel tired. On some days, it will be very easy, and other days, it may seem difficult. No matter what, your small step is always possible. Patience is your friend during this process. If you are kind to yourself, you will notice that even on slow days, you are still making progress. Whenever you celebrate a small step, your confidence grows. Over time, Your life will be different because of all the small, gentle steps you have taken. Part of making habits last is understanding what helps you and what gets in the way. If you notice you miss your step often in the evening, maybe you can switch it to the morning. If you forget on weekends, you can set a reminder or ask someone to join you. Adjusting your small step is not failure. It is a sign that you are learning and caring for your real needs. After you have practiced your small step for some time, you might want to add another habit. Remember to keep the new step small and clear. You will find it is easier each time because you have already learned to trust yourself. Your mind and body know the process. Big changes come from many little changes joined together. You do not need a perfect week or to wait for a special day to begin. You can start today with one small action and repeat it tomorrow. You can build discipline, energy, and joy one gentle step at a time. If you ever get discouraged or think your progress is slow, look for the quiet signs inside you. Maybe you sleep a little better, maybe you smile more, or maybe you feel less worried about trying new things. These are all signs that your small steps are working. Sometimes outside factors make it harder to keep your habits. Maybe you travel, or your routine changes, or you have extra stress at work or school. On these days, remember that you can return to your smallest step. Doing just one tiny part of your habit keeps the routine alive in your mind and makes it easier to continue when things get easier. You do not lose your progress by taking a break or by going slow. Habits live in the gentle trust you build with yourself, not in the number of days you do them perfectly. If you treat yourself with understanding, you will always find a way to return to your good habits. Learning to build habits with small steps helps you create a peaceful relationship with yourself. You start to trust that you can change, even if it takes time. Others around you may notice your calm or your steady progress and may even feel inspired to try their own small steps. Your journey will have ups and downs. There will be times when your small step feels tiny, and there will be times when it feels like a doorway to a new life. Stay gentle, honest, and patient with yourself, and remember that all progress counts. With every small habit you practice, you are building not only discipline, but also kindness, hope, and belief in yourself. These qualities will support you in every part of your life, helping you face new challenges and enjoy your days. When you understand how habits are created and you take your time with each small step, you show your mind and body that change is possible, safe, and good. Every gentle step forward is a gift to yourself, a building block for a new and brighter life. When you begin to give yourself small opportunities to change, your days slowly become different. Even if you move forward one gentle step at a time, true change will still need patience and kindness. It is not always easy to wait for progress, but it is important to know that waiting and being gentle with yourself is not the same thing as giving up or making excuses. Instead, patience and kindness create the strong foundation that lets your new habits grow and last. You will notice as time passes that not every day will be the same. Some mornings, you will feel ready and excited to do your small habit. Maybe you remember your goal and feel proud. On other days, you may wake up feeling tired, or you may be busy and your mind may wander. Sometimes, on these days, you do not do your habit at all. It is normal for everyone to have good days and hard days. The change you want does not happen in one jump. It happens through both the easy and the hard moments. Patience means understanding that real change comes slowly. If you are patient, you do not demand that everything is perfect right away. Instead, you know that progress is made from all your choices, even the small or messy ones. Patience is not about sitting still and doing nothing. It means you keep returning to your new habit, even after you take a break or make a mistake. You do not give up. Each time you try again, you are practicing patience. Sometimes you may feel frustrated or lost. Many people feel this way when they try to build new habits. You may ask yourself, why is it taking me so long? Or, why do I keep making mistakes? These questions are normal. Your mind is only curious about how things are going. When you are kind to yourself, you can answer these questions with care. For example, you can say, I am learning, and learning is slow. That is fine. Or you can say, mistakes are part of the process and I still care about my goal. Each gentle answer helps your mind feel stronger, not weaker. Honoring your own timing is part of patience. You might see other people making big changes very quickly or hear stories about people who suddenly become very healthy or successful. If you compare your progress to theirs, you may feel small or slow. But real life is not about being the fastest or finishing first. Each person's path is different. You have your own life, your own experiences, and your own mind. Change will come in your own time. Being kind to yourself on both the good days and the hard days helps build trust inside you. If you treat yourself with kindness when you have a hard day, your mind learns that it is safe to make mistakes. You do not punish yourself for missing a step. Instead, you give comfort and encouragement, just as you would to a good friend. This makes it much easier to try again the next day. The more you practice this kindness, the more your mind trusts you. On days where you remember your new habit, take a moment to notice what helped you. Did you feel rested? Did you have a quiet moment in your day? Did someone encourage you? If you notice what is working, you can try to create those conditions more often. On days where you miss a habit, notice what was different. Were you busy? Did you feel sad or stressed? By seeing these patterns, you can adjust your habits gently. You can plan easier steps on busy days or ask for help on tough days. It is important not to think of missed habits as failures. Missing one habit or having one hard day is just a small detail on a bigger journey. When you are patient, you accept these bumps without letting them stop you. You keep your focus on the path, not on single mistakes. Your gentle attitude helps you come back again and again. Another way to practice patience and kindness is to celebrate small progress. No step is too small to notice. If you drink one extra glass of water, read one page, or take a single deep breath, you are moving forward. Saying, "I did it," even for the smallest step, trains your mind to feel good about progress. Over weeks and months, these small moments of celebration build into big changes. There will be times where you feel like nothing is changing. You might look for a sign that your habit is actually working. Change is often quiet and slow. Look for simple signs. Maybe you remember your habit more often, or your mind feels less afraid, or you feel more hope. These are gentle signals that patience is working. If you begin to doubt yourself, remind yourself that your journey is unique. You do not need to be perfect, and you do not need to go fast. Real life has surprises, hard days, and many changes. When you meet these with patience, it becomes easier to take care of your habits and your heart. For some, it helps to talk to someone who understands. You can share your story with a friend, family member, or even by writing in a notebook. When you tell your story, you make your progress real. When someone else listens with care, your mind feels supported. This support doubles the power of patience and kindness. Sometimes, you may also help someone else by sharing your journey. Both of you become stronger. It is important to remember that patience does not mean saying, "I will never get there," or waiting forever. It means moving gently forward, even if your steps are small. You do your best each day, and when you need a rest, you take it. When you feel strong, you move ahead. Over time, your small steps and gentle efforts build a new pattern that feels natural in your day. Kindness to yourself is also how you take care of your needs during change. If you notice you are tired, you can rest. If you feel sad, you can give yourself comfort first before trying your habit. If you are confused, you can slow down and try to learn one small thing at a time. Kindness means listening to yourself and believing that your feelings matter. You do not ignore your true self, or you include all your feelings and thoughts, even the hard ones. A patient and kind approach to habit change is good for your mind and your body. You will notice that when you stop pushing yourself too hard, your stress becomes less. Your sleep may improve, your head may feel clearer, and your energy may become more steady. Even your relationships can improve because you are less angry or disappointed with yourself and with others. It can be helpful to notice which words you use with yourself. If you speak gently, with words like, "I am learning," "This is okay," or "I care about myself," your mind will relax. If you notice harsh words like "I am failing" or "I am too slow," you can stop and decide to use a softer message. Every day, you can practice using kind words, even about mistakes. If you make a plan for your habits, remember to build patience into your plan. Make your goals flexible. For example, if you plan to walk every day, allow yourself to choose a shorter walk on busy or rainy days. If you plan to write, allow yourself to write one word, one sentence, or one page, depending on how you feel. When your plan is gentle, you are more likely to keep going. Being flexible shows patience, and patience keeps your habits alive. You may notice that over weeks or months, your new habits feel easier. They become a normal part of your life. When you reach this point, you can add a new small habit or make your old habit a little bigger. Do this slowly and keep your attitude gentle. If it ever feels too hard, you can return to a smaller, easier step. There is no shame in being slow. Slow progress is still progress. When you practice patience and kindness with your habits, you also teach your mind and heart a very special lesson. You learn that you do not have to fear mistakes or bad days. You learn that you are able to start again, no matter what. This peaceful sense of trust helps you feel brave enough to try new things in many areas of your life. Some people are afraid that being patient and kind makes them weak or lazy. This is not true. Patience and kindness are not about forgetting your goals. They are about making sure your goals do not harm you. They are about taking care of yourself while you grow. When you treat yourself well, you feel more hope, more comfort, and more joy. That is how real, strong change happens. Your journey with habits may feel lonely sometimes, but you are not alone. Everyone who tries to change faces moments of slow progress, hard days, and gentle victories. When you give yourself patience and kindness, you join many others who are walking the same path, all in their own time. If you ever feel your patience running out, take a deep breath. Remind yourself that you only have this one moment, this one step. Do this one thing with care. Later, you can try again. Your future is built one moment at a time. Kindness to yourself also means accepting your limits. You do not need to be perfect, and you do not need to do more than you can. Sometimes, life brings illness, loss, or stress. On these days, let your habits become smaller. Giving yourself comfort during hard times is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Over time, you will see that patience makes everything more peaceful. You feel less worried and more sure of yourself, even as you learn. Each chapter of your journey adds strength to your habits. Every day, every try, every gentle word to yourself is a piece of your progress. Sometimes, you will feel very proud. Other days, you may feel discouraged. All these feelings are welcome. Each feeling teaches your mind something. Enjoy and honor your good days and soothe yourself on the hard ones. Both are important. As your new habits become part of your life, continue to ask yourself gentle questions. Do you feel good? Is your mind calm? Are you happy with your progress? Are you being kind to yourself? These questions help keep your journey gentle and honest. If you wish, you can keep a small record of your steps. Write what you try, what feels easy, what feels hard, and what helps you go on. When you look back, you will see not only your habits growing, but also your patient and kind spirit. There is no race to win, no time limit to meet. All that matters is your steady care for yourself and your habits. Every day is a chance to build a little more trust, a little more patience, a little more kindness. Over weeks, months, and even years, these small acts create strong, lasting change in your life. When you feel ready, you can reflect on why you want these habits and how you can keep your progress steady. Say thank you to yourself inside your mind for every try. Let your patience and kindness guide you, one quiet moment at a time, as you keep walking your own way. As the habit grows stronger, you will notice that honesty with yourself becomes even more important. Patience and kindness let you face the truth of every day with courage. You will see that being clear with yourself, in a gentle way, supports your journey and helps your discipline last for many seasons of your life. When you begin to look at your habits with patience and kindness, you might notice that being honest with yourself becomes a very strong tool. As you live each day, honesty helps you see your true feelings, your needs, and your reasons for wanting to change. Kindness and patience help you keep going, but honesty is what keeps you moving in the right direction for you. Being honest with yourself makes every step of discipline more real and more helpful. Sometimes, it is easy to ignore the truth about your habits. You might want things to be different, but you do not always want to look closely at what is really happening. For example, maybe you want to go to bed earlier, but each night you stay up late looking at your phone or watching television. Being honest does not mean blaming yourself or saying you are wrong. It means noticing what you do and accepting what is true without hiding it. You can say to yourself, "I want to sleep early, but I am choosing to watch television." This honest moment is the first step to making a real change. It is not always comfortable to be honest. Sometimes being honest with yourself can bring up feelings like sadness, embarrassment, or disappointment. Maybe you want to exercise, but you often make excuses. Maybe you plan to eat more fruit and vegetables, but instead you buy snacks. At first, seeing these actions can feel difficult. But honesty is not about making yourself feel bad. Honesty is a way to learn. If you look honestly at your actions, you can understand your habits better. You can see what is actually happening and learn why you make certain choices. If you avoid honesty, it can be much harder to make progress. You might set goals that do not really match your life. You might say you want to read more, but you never find time because you do not check your schedule honestly. You might want to spend less money, but you do not look at where your money is actually going. When you are not honest, you create a story that does not show your real habits. It is much easier to make changes when you know the truth of where you are now. Honesty with yourself means checking in every day or every few days and asking, "What did I actually do? How do I feel about it? What is making this habit easier or harder for me?" You can do this by talking to yourself, writing in a notebook, or even thinking quietly for a few minutes before you sleep. When you get in the habit of looking at your real actions, you start to see patterns. Maybe there is a certain time of day when you forget your new habit. Maybe being with a certain person makes it easier. Maybe stress or tiredness always pulls you back to old habits. Each honest answer is a small piece of help. Another part of honesty is knowing your real reasons for wanting to change. Sometimes people choose habits because of what others expect. Maybe you think you must wake up very early because people around you say it is the only way to be successful. Or you try to cook every meal at home because you saw it on the internet. But your true reasons may be different. Maybe you feel tired in the morning, or maybe you do not like cooking alone. If you check why you want a habit, and the real feeling is not yours, it is okay to try something else. Your habits should match your own life, not what others say is best. Being honest about your reasons makes your goals stronger. For example, if your real reason for wanting to walk more is to enjoy fresh air, keep that in mind. If your reason for studying every day is to feel more confident at school or work, remember that. When your habits match your true reasons, you feel more hope and you want to keep going, even on slow days. Honesty also helps you see which habits are working and which ones are not. Maybe you try to write every night, but you always feel too tired. Being honest, you could see that writing in the morning feels easier. Or you notice that drinking water with every meal is simple, but eating vegetables at every meal feels hard. When you see what works, you can focus your energy there and adjust the things that are not working. When you make changes with honesty, you do not waste energy blaming yourself. You say, "This is working for me," or "This is not working right now." You look for solutions, not punishment. If you find a habit is not helping you or makes you unhappy, you can change it. If you see a habit is helpful, you can keep it and feel proud. Sometimes, honesty also means facing difficult feelings or situations in your life. Maybe you're trying to work more, but you feel lonely. Maybe you want to cook healthier food, but your family does not support that habit. Maybe you want to save money, but you feel pressure to go out and spend. These truths can be uncomfortable, but when you accept them, you can make better plans or ask for help. There are times when it can help to talk about your habits with someone you trust. You do not have to do this alone. Saying your goals out loud to another person can help you feel more brave and give you a clearer plan. Sometimes a friend or family member can offer new ideas or just listen with respect. When you share your honest feelings, you also allow others to support you better. This can make you feel less lonely on your journey. If you do not want to talk with another person, you can write a letter to yourself. You can write about why you want to change, what you feel inside, and what you are finding hard. Later, you can read your letter and see your progress. You can see how your thinking and your habits have grown over time. Being honest with yourself in writing is private and can feel safe. Honesty with your habits can be gentle. You do not have to make long lists of everything you do wrong. You do not have to look for problems. The goal is to see your life clearly so you can support yourself better. You can say, "Today I did my habit," or "Today I did not do it because I was busy." You do not need to give strong judgments. Simply noticing what is happening is the first step. When you notice a pattern, you can think about small changes. If you see that you skip your habit after a long workday, maybe you need a shorter step on those days. If you see that you remember your habit better when you write it down, start using a notebook each morning. If you see that excitement about a new habit fades after several days, remind yourself that this is normal and plan for gentle encouragement. Being honest with yourself also means being kind. Sometimes old habits return for a day or a week. Sometimes you may feel stuck. If you notice those feelings honestly, you can remind yourself that everyone has hard days. Gentleness and patience work together with honesty. You are not weak for struggling. Struggle is a normal part of learning anything new. If you set a goal and then do not reach it, honesty helps you try again in a new way. For example, if you plan to read for 30 minutes each night but only managed 5 minutes, you can check if your goal is realistic. If you see that you are too tired in the evening, change your plan to read in the afternoon or for only 5 minutes. Honest self-reflection helps you adjust, not quit. When you see your real reasons, your real actions, and your real needs, you make better plans. You might notice that your old habit felt safe, or that your new habit feels uncomfortable in some way. When you are honest, you can look for ways to make your new habit easier or more enjoyable. You might add music, ask someone to join you, or reward yourself after trying. If you feel guilt or embarrassment because change is slow, use honesty to see your efforts. Remind yourself, "I did a lot today, even if it was only a small step. I am still trying." These small truths keep your motivation alive. It is also helpful to check your progress honestly over time. Each week or each month, you can look back and notice how often you practiced your habit. You can write down the days when it felt easy and the days when it felt hard. You can see if you are moving in the direction you want or if you need to make a change. This is not about perfection. It is about learning from your real life. Honesty can remind you to celebrate what is working. Maybe you now brush your teeth every evening, or you walk more often, or you drink more water. Notice these wins, no matter how small. Each small win makes your mind stronger and gives you hope for more change. It is natural for people to avoid honesty sometimes. You might want to forget about a habit that is not working or hope that things will improve without action. But real change comes only when you see the truth and respond with care. By noticing what is real and taking small actions, you give yourself the best chance to grow. If you ever notice that your honesty feels heavy or painful, return to gentle words. Remind yourself that self-honesty is a gift, not a punishment. You are not trying to hurt yourself. You are trying to help yourself become the person you want to be. Every time you are honest, you give yourself a chance to do better and to build more discipline. Being honest does not mean you must look at every mistake or problem. Sometimes honesty is just asking simple questions. What do I need now? What is one thing I can do today? What is something I am proud of? These simple questions, if answered honestly, can show you small ways to help yourself move forward. As you practice honesty, patience, and kindness, you notice that your discipline feels stronger. You do not have to force yourself with fear or harsh words. Instead, you build discipline with truth. You make changes that fit your real life, that match your real needs, and that work for your real self. Your goals become more meaningful, and you respect yourself more. When you celebrate your honesty, even about difficult things, your confidence grows. You trust yourself more. You know that you are willing to look, to listen, and to learn. This trust helps you keep going, even if your journey is slow or if you start again many times. You may find that talking about your habits with a trusted person becomes easier. You may discover that other people have similar challenges. When you share honestly, you may receive new ideas, gentle support, or simply feel understood. Shared honesty builds strong connections between people. Over time, being honest with yourself can change how you see all parts of your life. You learn to make choices based on your real needs, not just what looks good or what others want. You feel less pressure to chase perfect habits and more peace about doing your best each day. Your discipline feels lighter and more natural. If you ever feel afraid to look at your habits honestly, take a small step. Look at just one part of your day. Notice one thing you do well. Notice one small thing you want to change. Use honesty as your tool, not as a weapon. Trust that every honest word is helping you grow. Your new habits, built with honesty, patience, and kindness, become part of who you are. You may notice respect for yourself growing inside, and others may see your calm and steady progress. Your mind learns that honesty is safe, and you can face each day with clear eyes and an open heart. When you make honesty a natural part of your discipline, you build a strong foundation for habits that last. Each gentle, honest look at yourself is another peaceful step forward in your life. When gentleness, patience, and honesty work together, your discipline grows stronger, and your new habits feel true and lasting. As you start living with more honesty, patience, and kindness, your discipline feels stronger and more peaceful. When your habits are built from gentle care, you learn to support yourself in a new way. This new way creates habits that do not fade quickly. Real discipline lasts when it comes from caring for your real self, not from fear, punishment, or harshness. Understanding how to support your real self is important for lasting change. Your real self is not just the person who reaches goals or does everything perfectly. Your real self includes all your feelings, your needs, your strengths, and your challenges. When you care for your real self, you accept all these parts. You do not hide your mistakes, and you do not try to be someone else. You create discipline out of respect and care for who you truly are. Many people spend a long time believing that they must be perfect to have discipline. They think that only the strongest or the most successful people are allowed to feel proud. But this belief only brings pain and makes habits hard to keep. If you try to become someone who never needs rest or never makes mistakes, you will always feel that you are failing. Your discipline breaks easily because it is built on fear, not on respect or kindness. Lasting discipline grows when you accept yourself and treat yourself well. This means listening to your needs, respecting your limits, and celebrating your efforts. For example, if you want to read every day but notice you are tired at night, you can change your plan and read during the morning or afternoon. You are not weak for doing this. You are caring for your real self, and this care helps your discipline last for years, not only for days or weeks. Caring discipline is about building trust with yourself. When you say you will do a small habit, and you do it, you start to believe in yourself. If you miss a day and you forgive yourself gently, you keep trust alive. Every time you are kind to yourself, your mind feels safer and more ready to try again. Trust is not built in one day. It grows every time you treat yourself with patience, honesty, and care. When discipline is built on caring, you can adapt your routines when life changes. Sometimes you might travel. Sometimes you might get sick or feel sad. Sometimes your plans will need to change because a family member needs your help or because you need more rest. When your discipline is flexible, it can survive changes. You do not have to start over again and again. You take care of your real self at every step, and your discipline stays with you through many seasons of life. You can show care for yourself in many ways. One way is to notice your feelings and listen to them honestly. If you feel tired, ask if you need to slow down. If you feel proud, let yourself celebrate. If you feel scared to try something new, give yourself extra time and encouragement. These small acts of listening and caring help your discipline become stronger. The more you notice your needs, the more you are able to support yourself. Another way to care for your real self is to let go of punishment and harsh criticism. If you make a mistake, you do not have to punish yourself. You can notice what happened and learn from it. For example, maybe you wanted to walk every day but missed a few days. Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," you can say, "I had some hard days. I will start again now." This gentle way lets you grow without pain or fear. Some people worry that caring for themselves will make them lazy or less successful. In truth, the opposite is true. Discipline that comes from care is much stronger and lasts much longer than discipline that comes from fear or anger. When you support your needs and respect your feelings, you find more energy to keep going. You are not pushing yourself because you are afraid. You take action because you know it feels good to care for yourself and reach your goals. There are days when showing care can be harder, especially when you feel disappointment. Maybe you set a big goal and did not reach it. Maybe you feel jealous of someone else's success. If you notice these feelings, use care instead of blame. Remind yourself that everyone has hard days, and everyone feels sad or jealous sometimes. These feelings do not mean you failed, they just mean you are human. Respond to them with comfort and understanding, not with punishment. Celebrating small improvements is an important part of caring for yourself. If you notice you drank more water this week or took a walk when you felt stressed, allow yourself to feel proud. Say a kind word to yourself, write it down, or share your success with others. These acts of celebration make your mind happy. They help connect good feelings to healthy habits, so your habits become easier to repeat. Helping your mind feel safe also builds lasting discipline. If you know that making a mistake will not bring shame or pain, you are more willing to try new things. If your mind trusts that you can change your habits without suffering, your hope and energy stay strong. Over time, your discipline feels lighter, calmer, and more joyful. Sometimes people with caring discipline become examples to others. When family or friends see that you are changing with kindness, they may want to try too. You might hear someone say, "You seem happier," or "You are sticking to your habits longer." This kind of support gives you more reasons to keep caring for yourself each day. Trust grows deeper as you continue to support your real self. You do not have to check or measure your habits each day to see if you are good enough. You notice that you are making choices out of care. Even if you have a hard week, you know that you can return to your habits without fear or shame. This gentle cycle of action, rest, and care keeps your discipline alive for many years. Boundaries are also part of caring for yourself. This means knowing when to say yes or no. If a friend invites you out but you feel too tired, you can gently say no and rest. If you notice that certain places or people make it harder to follow your habits, you can plan to spend less time there. Caring for yourself sometimes means choosing what is best for you, even if it is not what others want. You may also notice that caring discipline helps you be more honest with others. You can share your goals and your struggles. You can ask for help when you need it. You do not have to pretend to be perfect or hide your needs. When others see your gentle honesty, they learn to respect your discipline and maybe even feel inspired to change their own habits. Another way to care for your real self is to rest when you need it. If your body is tired or if your mind feels full, Give yourself permission to take a break. When you return to your habits after resting, you will feel stronger. Rest is not a sign of weakness. It is a way to honor your needs and make discipline last. Over time, personal routines of care become natural. You might find that you prepare healthy meals for yourself, go for walks, or spend time doing something that makes you happy. You may notice yourself speaking with more patience, both to yourself and others, when things go wrong. This is the result of building discipline from care instead of from punishment or fear. Sometimes you may want to check your progress. Look back over the last month or the last year. Notice where you have shown yourself care. Think about what habits have lasted and what changes have stayed with you. You may feel surprised by how strong your habits are when they are built on caring and respect. It is normal to face times when your habits feel weak or hard to keep. Life brings change, and your needs will also change. If you notice a habit is not working or you feel resistance, check what your real self needs. Maybe you need a new plan, or maybe your priority has changed. Being flexible and open to change is part of caring discipline. You do not have to be strict forever. You only have to stay connected to what is real for you right now. Your mind learns trust one day at a time. Every moment you show yourself patience, honesty, or a small act of kindness, you add another piece to your foundation of discipline. This foundation stays strong when life gets busy or difficult. You do not have to start over every time, because your discipline is part of who you are. When you work with your mind instead of against it, you find creative solutions. If you notice your motivation is low, maybe you need a new way to enjoy your habit. If you feel tired of your routine, maybe you can invite a friend or change your environment. Small changes, made with respect for your real needs, keep your discipline strong and growing. Your discipline also grows when you forgive yourself quickly for mistakes. If you eat a meal that does not fit your goal or skip exercise one week, do not wait days to begin again. Offer yourself the same comfort you would give to a friend. Begin gently with a small step and your habit will return. Letting go of the need for perfection brings relief. The more you practice caring for your real self, the more you enjoy the process. The journey becomes less about success and more about learning how to live well. Your discipline becomes a source of peace and confidence, not stress. Sometimes, family, work, or outside pressures may make it difficult to care for yourself. People around you may not understand why you choose rest or why you adjust your habits. When you explain gently from a place of care, you may help others see the value of this approach. Not everyone will understand, but your real self will feel respected and your discipline will grow stronger. You may also find moments when you need to ask for help. This is part of caring for yourself. If you feel stuck or alone, reach out to someone you trust. Support from others makes habits easier to keep, and your mind feels safer knowing you are not alone. If you are ever unsure what your real self needs, pause and ask yourself, am I tired, sad, hungry, or worried? Do I need rest or comfort right now? What would help me feel cared for? Answer honestly and take a small step to meet that need. Even the smallest act of caring, drinking a glass of water, taking a few deep breaths, writing a kind word, helps build lasting discipline. As you repeat these acts of care day by day, your habits gain strength. Simple actions, done with respect, become patterns of living. Your mind and body learn that they can trust you, and discipline becomes a gentle partner, not a heavy burden. You do not have to earn care by being perfect or doing everything right. Care is not a reward for success. It is the beginning of change, the support you need every day. Real discipline is the result of caring for your true self, your needs, your mind, your emotions, your body, and your dreams. The journey of building new habits is not straight or quick. It will have hard days and easy days, excitement and boredom, success and mistakes. When discipline is built on care, you can face every day with calm and hope. The habits that last are the ones made with patience, honesty, and deep respect for your real self. When you trust yourself and care for yourself, your whole life becomes stronger and more peaceful. This way of discipline is something you carry with you everywhere. It helps you at home, at work, in relationships, and wherever you try to learn or grow. Others may notice how you treat yourself and may want to understand. You can be gentle and honest, showing that real change comes not from being hard, but from caring, listening, and supporting your own journey. Each day is another chance to practice this kind of discipline. Every gentle step, every honest thought, every act of caring is a gift to yourself. With these gifts, your discipline lives on, growing quietly and strongly, ready for everything your life may bring next. When you begin to treat yourself with patience, kindness, and care, you notice that your life slowly transforms. Every small act of understanding builds a gentle discipline inside you. This discipline feels peaceful and strong because it is not forced, and it does not depend on being perfect. It grows quietly each day as you listen to yourself, learn about your real needs, and support your own journey with honesty. Step by step, you see that you can change habits without harsh rules. Real change is not about making things happen quickly or being strict all the time. It is about creating an environment inside yourself where new habits feel welcome and possible. Even when life is busy or difficult, this kind of discipline stays with you because it is rooted in care and respect for who you are. Every day, you have the chance to act with gentleness. When you wake up and try a new habit, you remind yourself that one small step is enough. When you miss a habit, you remember not to be harsh. You simply notice what happened, care for yourself, and try again. This way, there is no reason for shame or for feeling alone. Mistakes are natural, and they show you the places where you might need more rest, more support, or a different plan. It is common to want fast results. Many people dream of changing everything overnight, but lasting change comes when you give yourself the gift of time. If you walk slowly and celebrate every effort, your journey continues for many weeks, months, and even years. Habits become a part of daily life, not something you force only for a short period. Over time, you start to enjoy the process, not just the results. You might notice that some days are very easy, and you do your habits without thinking. Other days, you feel tired, busy, sad, or distracted. This is normal for everyone. Real discipline is not the number of perfect days you achieve, but how often you are willing to start again no matter what happened before. Every day offers a new beginning. Each gentle attempt adds strength to your new habits. Paying attention to your feelings is an important part of changing your life. When you feel motivated, use that energy to keep going with your plans. When you feel worried, sad, or frustrated, care for yourself with extra patience. You can pause, rest, or talk to someone you trust. Every feeling has a lesson for you, and every emotion can be welcomed with honesty and care. You also learn that sharing your journey with others gives you extra strength. If you talk with a friend, family member, or someone you trust, you feel less alone. Sometimes you will be the person listening and supporting. Other times you will receive help and kind words. Sharing honest stories helps everyone see that growth is possible even when it is slow. Having clear reasons for your habits is also important. When you are honest about why you want to change, your goals feel closer and more important to you. If you want to move your body more because you want to play with your children, remember that reason every day. If you want to sleep better because it helps you think more clearly, repeat that truth to yourself. When you face a hard moment, thinking of your real reasons lifts your spirit and helps you continue. Little by little, you notice that your new ways begin to feel natural. Habits that once seemed hard now fit gently into your life. Maybe you drink more water, take regular walks, read more often, or make time for quiet moments. Every change, no matter how small, is a gift you give to yourself. When you celebrate these gifts, your mind trusts you even more, and the path to new habits becomes easier each day. Self-care means forgiving yourself quickly. When you make a mistake, gently accept it as part of life. You do not keep thinking about what went wrong. You do not punish yourself. Instead, you accept, learn, and start again. This gentle way keeps your hope alive. It lets you feel peace, even when you are working hard. Some obstacles may come from people around you. Not everyone will understand why you are patient or why you celebrate slow progress. Sometimes people will want you to do things their way. When this happens, return to your reasons. Remember that your path is for you, and your care for yourself is always worth it. You can gently explain your choices, and you can find new support in quiet places if you need it. Trust grows inside you as you practice these new skills. Trust is built every time you keep a promise to yourself, treat yourself with care, or return to your habits after a pause. The more you trust yourself, the more disciplined you feel. This discipline lasts because it does not disappear when things are hard. It helps you come back to your habits again and again, no matter what life brings. Your habits will not stay the same forever. As you change, you may have new needs and new dreams. Caring discipline means updating your habits with respect for who you are now. Maybe you add new steps, make your routines more flexible, or select different goals that feel right. When discipline grows from care, it always has room for change. You are free to grow and to adjust, and your confidence grows along with your habits. Progress will always arrive in small and quiet ways. Sometimes, you will feel proud about a big step. Other days, you will find hope in the smallest sign. A smile, better sleep, more energy, or a peaceful moment. Every sign is important, and everyone is proof that care and patience are working. Slow, lasting change is not a story about being perfect. It is a story about learning every day and treating yourself with kindness. You never need to give up because of a mistake or because something took longer than you hoped. Time is your friend when you are gentle and honest. Your life is built from each day, from each choice, and from the way you care for your real needs. If you ever feel discouraged, remember that you are not alone. Every person who tries to change learns patience and experiences hard days. If you reach out for help or offer kindness to yourself, the path always opens again. Do not forget to look back sometimes and notice how far you have come, even if your steps were small each day. As you look forward, know that gentle discipline can help you at every stage of your life. You can use it to support goals at work, with family, in health, or in any personal area. You can come back to these ideas again and again, especially in hard times, and you will find the same peaceful strength waiting for you. In every moment, you get to choose how you treat yourself. With each small act of care, with every real and honest goal, and with every gentle restart, you write your own story of strong, lasting discipline. This story is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about building habits that stay with you because they are created out of patience, honesty, and true care for your whole self. Looking back at everything you have learned, it becomes clear that real discipline does not come from being strict or punishing yourself when things do not go perfectly. Instead, it starts by understanding your mind, by noticing how your old beliefs about discipline may not help, and by choosing not to fight or be harsh with yourself. You have seen that discipline becomes stronger with gentle honesty, small steps, and patience over time. You now know that building habits is not about rushing, but about repeating simple actions until they grow familiar. Lasting discipline is rooted in care for your real self, listening to your needs and feelings, and supporting yourself through every change, mistake, or success. By being kind, truthful, and gentle, you discover the quiet and steady growth that leads to habits that last, confidence that grows, and a peaceful mind that trusts the journey each day.